So the votes are in. Well, not all. You guys can keep voting for tomorrow's meal. So today, we're making the Lebanese beef and feta meatballs. Yum. So yeah, let's get to it. So I got all the stuff I'm gonna need outside. My cutting board, my knife, my spatula. I went through the recipe. I'm gonna need a zester to juice my lemon. So I guess there's a lemon in there. So let's open it up. Exciting. Oh, we got a zucchini. 2 zucchinis. We've got some parsley. We got a lemon. We got a Roma tomato or plum tomato. We got hummus. So it's pre-made hummus. This is from Summer Fresh. And we've got panko breadcrumbs. Moroccan couscous, that cute little label again. These are the spices, so it's called shawarma spice blend. I guess I'll tell you here what exactly is inside. Okay, so it says spice, garlic powder, onion powder, salt, vegetable oil, and citric acid. So I didn't even tell you what the spice part is. And the feta cheese. All right, let's get this out of the way. And I'm gonna wash this stuff. So we'll just pause you for a sec. All right, so everything's washed. So let's see. So start here, we have to preheat the oven to 425, which that's done. And now we're gonna prep. So step 1 here, it tells you what to do. So I'm gonna cut the zucchini, we're gonna cut the tomato, we're gonna zest and juice the lemon, and we're going to cut the parsley. So it tells you there exactly how you should cut it and all that. So we'll do that. So we get our zucchini, you can see there. I'm gonna cut the ends off. And we're gonna cut lengthways. And you want half moons. So we'll do half moons. Half moons. Just pause you for a sec, do the other one. So we got all the zucchini cuts, a lot of zucchini. That's good, it's healthy for you. And it's filling, for sure. So next we're gonna cut our tomato. So they want it into 1/2-inch pieces. So we're gonna cut the tomato in half. Just use the tip. Can you see? Use the tip of the knife. You can get that little piece out. The core. So I save my scraps for compost. Oh my god, my knife is not sharp. Let's try that again. Just sharpened it. So we're just gonna cut down and then stack it up. It's okay with the tomatoes because they're gonna cook down anyways. They don't have to be perfect. me stack it up this way. Alright. So our tomatoes are cut. Let me get a little bowl for that. Get it out of the way. Next, it says we're gonna zest and then juice half the lemon. Whole lemon if it's for 4 people. So we got our lemon. We're gonna zest it first. So we got our zester. I'm just gonna zest on the side of my board here. So we're gonna roll the lemon as I turn. So you don't want the white part, that'll be bitter. You just want the yellow flesh. There you go, you get the tops. Give it a good tap. Here we go. You see? No, I missed a piece, it's okay. Alright, it smells so good. So then we're gonna cut it in half. And you want us to juice half. So I got my juicer here with a bowl. I'm just gonna do it in the bowl. So we're gonna make mix the hummus in here. Straight in. Alright, so that's half and juiced a little bit. And then it says to make wedges out of the rest. So I guess it's for garnish. So there's our little cute wedges. Alright, next, roughly chop the parsley. We got our washed parsley. So the stems have lots of flavor, so don't even bother taking the leaves off and only using the leaves. When I'm cooking, I kind of cut the stems really small and I cook it in with the food, and then I can put the parsley in at the end. So I'm just gonna do that. We'll see where it tells us to put it at the end or when we're cooking. So I'm just going to do the stem part super thin. And then when we get up to the leaves, you can just pile them on top of each other and roll it. And then you can run your knife there we go. And our parsley is done. Alright, next. So that was step 1. Now we're on to step 2. So step 2, we're gonna form the meatballs. Combine the beef, the breadcrumbs, the shawarma spice blend, and the feta in a bowl. Season with pepper. So we're not gonna put salt because feta has lots of salt already. And we're gonna form the mixture into 8 equal-sized meatballs. Arrange the meatballs onto a foil-lined baking sheet and bake in the middle oven until cooked, roughly 12 to 14 minutes. So let's do that. So I'm gonna move this over. Don't need this right now. I've got my bowl. Let me wash your hand a little bit. Alright. So we're get the beef. I mean, not the beef, the lamb. So this is the lamb. Let's open the pack. Now my hands are wet. I can't open. Oh, the camera went funny. Let's just cut it open. Oops. You don't want that in there. All right. It's not really ripping. Let's get that. There's a paper there, so let's get that out. Okay. Not the couscous. This is the breadcrumbs. Can I open these easy? Oh, my hands are wet. So we got the breadcrumbs. That goes in there. And then the shawarma spice blend. It smells like cumin. So that's one of the spices that were in there in the spice blend. And then the feta. Okay, so what's next? I'm just gonna use my hands. It smells good. Don't fall. So we're gonna get all those spices mixed up in there. And the feta's all mixed up in there. Oh, I forgot to put black pepper. Hold on, I have to wash my hands. 1 sec. Okay, I'm back. So I was supposed to put everything in before I mix with my hands, so I don't want to contaminate anything. So gotta wash my hands before I touch the lamb. So we're putting black pepper in. We're not putting any salt. The recipe doesn't call for it, and it's because the feta cheese is salty. All right. So that is good. So we're gonna make 8 balls. So our piece, we're gonna cut into 2. So we can try to have some sort of even balls. And then each piece again, we're gonna cut into 2. So that's 4. And then again, cut into 2. As even as you can. And we're gonna form a ball. Ta-da! So I'm just gonna put it on my, I'm not gonna use foil. It's okay. So we're gonna put these into 2. So I picked this meal because I don't really cook lamb at home. So it'll be a good way to try something new, try new flavors, new ingredients. And I'm sure it'll be delish. Alright, so I'm just gonna spread this out. This is done. I'll wash my hands again, one sec. Okay, hands are washed. So the oven's at 425. We're gonna put the balls in. And it says 12 to 14 minutes. So obviously everybody's oven's different. So set a timer for 12 minutes. So everyone's oven is different. There's hot spots in your oven, as you probably noticed. In the back, it might cook a little better, darker than in the front. So sometimes you have to rotate. So we'll see how that works out. So next, let's move along. So we're on step 3 here. We're gonna cook the couscous. So while the meatballs cook, heat a medium pot over medium heat. When hot, add 1 teaspoon of butter and 2/3 of a cup of water. Cover and bring to a boil over high heat, and then remove pot. Stir the couscous, cover, let stand until tender, until the liquid is absorbed. So I just wanted to see, because they didn't give me butter, but I have butter. But from what I remember, they say like you just need to have salt, pepper, and oil at home. Anyways, let me go get the butter. Okay, so we got the pot on the stove. That's why let me move this. And it asks for a tablespoon of butter. Get that in there. We'll melt that. While that's melting, I need 2/3 of a cup of water. And a little bit over. Two-thirds of a cup of water. So the butter is melted. Pour that in. And it says bring it to a boil. And then we're going to cover it. Oh, cover it, bring it to a boil. So bring to a boil over high heat. So once it's boiling, we're going to remove it from the heat and we're going to stir in the couscous. We're going to cover it and let it sit there, and it's going to absorb the water. So keep an eye on that. Get my scissors ready to open it. Almost. So I don't really eat couscous either. It's like a pasta. Alright, so it's boiling. Let's get it off the heat. I'll pour this in. We're gonna stir it. It also doesn't mention salt. It doesn't mention salt. I'm gonna put some salt. Has the lid on it, no heat, it's just cooking with the heat there itself. And we're gonna start with the zucchini. Can you bring it closer? Alright, so we got our pan here. We're gonna cook the zucchini. So let me read it to you. So now we're on step 4. So we're cooking the zucchini. So while the couscous cooks, we're going to heat a large non-stick pan over medium-high heat. When hot, add half a tablespoon of oil. Then the zucchini. Cook, stirring occasionally to tender and crisp, about 4 to 5 minutes. And we're going to season with salt and pepper. You can hear the meatballs. So, get that nice and hot. And then we're going to get our zucchini. It's a lot of zucchini. The picture doesn't look like the same amount of zucchini as I got, but it's okay. More zucchini, more vitamins, and more food, more flavor, and filling. So, I'm just going to put half right now so it can cook evenly. Spread them out. Oh. So we got our zucchini in. Oh, timer. Meatballs are done. So let's put some pepper, some salt, this over. Whew. Yeah, they feel done. So we're going to turn that off, set this to the side. Oh yeah. So if I would have turned them halfway, then that side would have got that same color. But it's okay. Maybe if I turn them, they'll get some color. Okay, so we got our zucchini going here. Turn them over. Get a little color on them. You don't want to take your time turning. Go like this. Just so you can get both sides like evenly, nicely brown. So sometimes I like to use the tongs so I can get each one, but you don't got time, right? Just mix it all up. So I still want a little bit of a bite to them, so I'm not going to cook them any more than that. So let's just get these out. And we'll get the rest of the guys in here. And we're gonna pepper and salt. You like that? Alright. So that's doing its thing. Now I'm like super close. So next. So while that's cooking, so step 5, we're gonna make the hummus drizzle. So while the zucchini cooks, there you go, we're gonna stir together the hummus, half the lemon juice, and 1 tablespoon of water in a small bowl, and we're gonna season with pepper. That's because this is already pre-made, so it should have salt already. So, let me reach. We have the lemon juice here, so it says half. So let me just pour out a little bit. That's about half. Okay. And then let's check on these zucchinis. Okay. Let's pull you back a bit so you can see this part. Okay. So we're gonna get the hummus. Everything's so hard to open. Okay. I'm gonna scoop our hummus in with our lemon juice. And then it said black pepper. And it said a tablespoon of water. Tablespoon. Reach for the water. Okay. So we're just gonna mix this up. Guess we could use a fork or tongs, but I mean, not tongs, a whisk. But this works just the same. Smells good. Alright. So that is our hummus done. Let's check back on the zucchini. Alright. So they look good. I'm going to flip some over to get color on all sides. Alright. So next, we're on the sixth and final step, guys. We made it. Okay, so we're going to finish and serve. We're going to fluff the couscous with a fork. We're going to stir in the tomatoes, the lemon zest, and the remaining of the lemon juice, and the parsley. We're going to season with salt and pepper. Oh, you see? That's what you should follow the recipe. So, because I put salt here, because I didn't see salt. But they put salt here. So now I'm not going to put salt here. Anyways. And then we're going to serve it up. Alright, let's see. So, let's just turn this off. We're going to check out our couscous. Oh. So, it says to fluff up with a fork. Fluffs up. And let's move this over so you can see here. You come closer. Alright. So we fluffed up with a fork. We're going to stir in our tomatoes. And then we're going to stir in the lemon zest. The parsley. And the remainder of the lemon juice. And we're going to crack some black pepper. And I'll taste it later for salt if we need. So look at that, looks good. Oh yeah. Oh, the freshness of the lemon. So good. Get all up in there. Flip it out and around. Look at that, guys. Looks great. Alright, so we're ready to plate. Okay, so everything's done. We're ready to plate. our Lebanese beef and feta meatballs. So we got our yummy couscous with tomato, lemon zest, lemon juice, and parsley. So we're gonna put it in the middle. And then we're gonna make like a little well. And then we have our zucchini. So let's put some around and about. And these dark ones on top, nice colors. So I'm thinking let's get this pretty. Take a pretty picture. So I think like this was like for 4 people, the 2 zucchinis. There's a lot on the plate already. So I'm just gonna save this. I can eat it later or whatever. And then the star of the show, the meatballs. There are the meatballs. So we're gonna place them on top. Stick you in there. Stay there. Okay, now it says to drizzle the hummus. You can drizzle. So let's drizzle. That looks good. Smells good. Get some drips outside. Alright. Well, let's taste. That's good. Alright. So this is snack later. And we got our wedge. Says to squeeze on top. And then we can garnish. So that's it. So I should have saved some parsley for the top. Added parsley. So let's see what I got here. I don't have parsley, but I have chives. Just for an added color on top. And boom. Alright. Take a look, guys. Looks good. Smells good. Now let's see if it tastes good. It's good. The lemon. the hummus. Let's try the meatball. Mmm. It's good. Sorry. It's really good. Yay. Come back tomorrow and see what the next one we're gonna cook.